Hi, it's Grania from All About Results. And a few weeks ago, I was talking about objections, and I was talking about there being four categories of objections that we will need to manage in sales or to preempt in sales. So I've come back today to talk about the fourth one because the last time I spoke about the first three. So the first one being time. So people often will object that they don't have time, or it's not the right time, or it'll take too much time. The second category is around money, and that's typically that they don't have a budget, or that what we're proposing is too expensive compared to what they thought it was going to be. Or for some cases, actually, it might be that it's not expensive enough and they don't trust it. And the third category we previously talked about was where they don't believe that the solution we're proposing is good enough, and it's not quite the right fit for their problem. The bit that I didn't talk about was the fourth category of objections, and that typically is about us. It's about you or me, and it's the one that they are least likely to directly say is the reason why they're objecting, because people would find that just so uncomfortable. So we need to think about how else do we make sure that we are not the reason why that person is objecting and saying no or stalling in the sale. And to do that, we need to go back and look at what we know about influencing. How do we know about how we're influencing people? And that sequence of events that really typically build up that for somebody to trust us. Now, there's a really neat little formula that those of you who are in business and do some networking will have come across, no doubt. And it's that know, like, and trust principle. And it sort of runs in that sequence, whether we're conscious of it or not. There's a period where we get to know someone, and then we like them, and then we trust them. And it tends to go in that order. It can happen quite quickly, or it can happen over a longer period of time. So from a sales point of view, and the point of view of preempting objections, investing our time and energy into making sure that our buyers know us, like us, and trust us is time well spent and likely to help us preempt those objections. So what can we actually do? And let's take them apart piece by piece to see how they will help us. So when we talk about no, our buyers will want to know what our personality is like, what our credentials are like, whether we can deliver what we say that we are promising we can deliver. The sorts of things that they will look out for or listen out for is our product knowledge. They'll clearly want to know that we know our products and our services really well, but they'll also want to know that we understand their problems pretty well. So we need to understand their industry or demonstrate that we know a bit about their industry. We might not know that, so we may have to ask some questions to get there, but even recognizing that that's important will help us. So we also can demonstrate that, for example, by sharing some experiences that we've had in their industry. So if we've worked with sort of similar industries, similar types of businesses in their sector, that will help them realize that we know something about what we're talking about, and helps them get to know us, which is the really important bit. Other ways that they will get to know us better is in how we work. How do we communicate? Do we turn up on time? Are we polite? Are we prompt on following up? Are we well prepared, and we bring, the information that we need with us? That will help them get to know us as well, because they'll see us in action. The other element, of course, is that we don't, at the point at which we've made contact with them, the first point of call, which could be an email, it could be them phoning us, contacting us on our website, could be a networking event, it could be an introduction. They will look for other information. They'll go and research us. They'll go and find out as on the back of that introduction or before that introduction. So we need to be very conscious that the information that's out there about us supports what we want them to know. Is it portraying the right personality, the right credentials, the right reputation? So think about being proactive. What does your marketing collateral say? What would people who refer you say about you? Is it consistent? Is it talking about the right things? Is it promoting the right elements about you? So invest time in making sure that your reputation, your online and your common reputation amongst referrers is sound and trustworthy. So that's an element of know. That's like consciously working towards helping our buyers to know who we are, that we are somebody that they could begin to trust. The second element is the like bit, and like is all about connection. It's about, are we showing a genuine interest? Are we helping them to like us by showing a genuine interest in their business or in them personally? Do we understand their goals and challenges? Are we making that connection? Are we sort of being empathetic and recognizing what they're trying to achieve and what they're up against? Do we have shared interests? Those shared interests could be in business, but they could also be sport, they could be family interests, it could be travel, they could be other hobbies. Now, professional buyers are often very well trained to make that difficult. But they're rare. They're more rare, I guess. And if we do it authentically and honestly, we can still use that as a way, in a very sort of honest way, an authentic way, to help people like us by creating those connections. Now, I have on this subject, it always brings to mind, actually, I've got a really lovely friend and a very funny friend who's a fantastic financial advisor. And she sort of talks about this in terms of like when she goes to clients' homes or offices, sometimes you just have to invest that time in admiring their begonias. And like is a bit like that. Sometimes we have to put ourselves out there and put ourselves in their shoes and like their begonias. The third element that's going to help us in the know, like, and trust to make us less of an issue for that particular prospect or buyer is the trust element. And for people to trust us, we primarily need to act consistently with our words, which means do what we say we're going to do. Do what we promised we said we do, to reply on time, provide the materials on time, not tell lies, not say stuff that we can't substantiate or that we're going to be caught out. Be honest to the point even where if we feel that our service and product is not going to be the right one for them, then it's almost better to admit that. Sometimes actually we might be slightly short compared to our competitors. There might be a bit of a gap. Being honest about that gap, but majoring on the elements which are good and beneficial and could help that client, is not being dishonest, but it will help to build trust. So honesty, authenticity, and sometimes being prepared to walk away from the current opportunity, but with a bigger goal in mind and the long-term relationship in mind, could well sort of put us in a good spot and build that trust. So this has been about objections, but when we are the objection, I hope that you thinking about know, like, and trust will help you to tackle some of those, to preempt some of those, and to recognize that it's never a complete no. It's not necessarily a complete no, that you can still go back and start to build up that relationship again. Hope that helps. See you again here soon. Bye for now.